If you've recently gone dairy-free or vegan for the new year, hey, welcome! We've been waiting for you. But you might also be completely overwhelmed by the amount of plant-based milks out there. And if you're trying to figure out which one is best for baking, the one that you're using in your cereal in the morning might not be the best one. So today, I'm gonna help you out by going through the same recipe for a cake with 4 of the most popular types of plant-based milks out there, and I'm gonna show you how they compare in the final product. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, hi, I'm Natalia Lima, owner and founder of Curious Cat Bakery. Now before I was feeding thousands of people the best desserts they've ever had that just happened to be vegan, I was just another clueless vegan Googling recipes, failing miserably in the kitchen and eating a lot of really bad, dry, tasteless cake. Now that I've cracked the code, I find it my mission to not only feed you, but to show you how you can do the same. So if you want to know how to bake delicious things that definitely don't taste vegan, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you get notified every time a new video comes out. So you may have already watched another video that I did a while back comparing different plant-based milks, and in that I went more into the science of it and why each of the milks acted different when you baked with them. I'll put the link to that in the description below so you can watch it if you haven't already. Now today, I'm actually going to use those milks in the same cake recipe so I can show you texture, looks, and taste, how they are different when you actually use them in a bake. That I'm using today is plain unflavored almond milk, rice milk, canned coconut milk, and sweetened vanilla oat milk. First off, let's use almond milk. This is my favorite choice. It is the one that I use in all of the cakes of the Curious Cat Bakery. I'm using Almond Breeze, but you can use whatever brand you prefer as long as it's unflavored, unsweetened, plain almond milk. You can see the texture of the milk is pretty similar to 2% milk, which is what I used back when I was still using milk when I baked and before I went vegan, which was about a lifetime and a half ago. Okay, now let's do the rice milk, and I'll be honest, this is not my favorite choice, but let's do it so I can show you why. I think it tastes and looks kind of gross, to be honest. As you can see, it's a lot thinner than the almond milk, and it creates a thinner batter as a result. Okay, next is the canned coconut milk. This is a fattier, thicker milk. I like to shake the can before opening it to make sure it's not separated, which can happen sometimes, especially if it's cold out. If that happens, you have to use a spoon to mix it up and make sure the milk is one homogeneous mixture before you add it to the recipe. Then finally, we're doing the vanilla flavored oat milk. The flavor part means there's added sugars and the flavoring to make it taste like vanilla. And looks wise, the oat milk, as you can see, is a darker color, but we're gonna see how that pans out when you actually bake it into a cake. Now while we wait for those cakes to bake, I'm curious, what plant-based milks have you tried in your bakes? Have they worked? Have you had any that really worked for you, or some really bad disasters? You know, we really love to hear those disaster stories and laugh about them after the fact. Not so funny when it actually happens, right? So let me know in the comments below, which ones have you had success with? Which ones have you had all disasters with? We want to hear it, so put it in the comments below. Okay, now let's get to the fun part and actually taste these. So we'll start with the almond milk. So looks wise, it's my vanilla cake. It's what I sell at the bakery. I'm used to it. I like how the batter was. It has a good structure. As you can see, I can put it in a fork here, and it's not moving around. It's moist, it's soft, delicious, love it. You can't taste almond. It tastes great. It's a vanilla cake, perfection. So next up is the coconut milk. So one thing that I noticed with the coconut milk is that it baked uneven. So part of it was a little more tan like this, and then parts of it were lighter like the almond milk. It's a little more dense, like it's not as light as the almond milk, but I cannot taste coconut. That's a big concern of a lot of people, is that they don't like coconut. You cannot taste the coconut. When you actually touch the cake, you can tell that there's more fat in it, like you can actually feel it, but when you taste it, it's a moist cake. It's delicious. Not a big difference there from the almond milk, so I would say almond milk would be my first, coconut milk, solid sub if you don't have almond milk in the house. Now let's get to rice milk next. So the rice milk, definitely a lot tanner. And of course I was checking throughout to make sure that the inside was baked as well as the outside. And this one was a lot darker on the outside than the one with almond milk, for example. Structure-wise, it seems a little drier than the other two, but let's taste it. So it's definitely a little bit drier, also a little bit sweeter. I'm not sure why that would be, but it's definitely sweeter than the other two. Drier for sure. And then finally, the oat milk vanilla flavor. Now, let me tell you that the scent of vanilla on this was borderline sickening. Like, I am not a huge fake smells kind of person, and even when I just like poured it into the batter, the smell was like sniffing a scented candle. Like, it was that strong of a vanilla flavor. If you're into that, this might be for you. But the other thing about this is that the outside of the cake baked a lot faster than the inside, which is not surprising knowing that there is artificial flavors in there. There's added sugars. All that sugar is going to caramelize and, you know, get a darker color before the inside has a time to bake. So it looks a lot darker than the other cakes, but let's see it taste-wise. I'm a little afraid, honestly. I just know it's gonna be super sweet, but let's do this. I'm having flashbacks to when I made the cake with a bottle of Coke, and it was just like, hurt your mouth sweet. Oh god. That's no, not good. That was so freaking sweet. Inedible sweet. Like, nope. You can't eat an entire cake. Like, I cannot eat, like, I could barely get through one bite. You can definitely not eat an entire slice of that. So, don't bake with sweetened cake. Like, don't bake with sweetened milk. That's just a bad idea. Because you're just adding more sugar to a recipe that already has sugar, and it's too much sugar unless you're like an elf, in which case you might love it, but not for me. So there you go. If you're new to vegan baking, hey, I know how daunting and kind of scary it can be in the beginning. So I put together my top 10 tips for successful vegan baking. You can download that for free. I'll put the link in the description below. You just go on there, put in your email, it gets delivered right to your inbox. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys here next Tuesday at 11 a.m. with a new video. Until then, you might want to watch this video that I referenced at the top, where I explain more of the science of the plant-based milks and why each of them reacted in the way that they did today. Or this one, when I say that I had flashbacks to baking a cake with a can of Coke, that's the video where I did it. You might want to watch it just for the reaction shots. Just saying. Anyways, I'll see you guys next week. Stay curious. With 4 of the most popular type was making the best desserts people have ever, that's not it. Natalia, I'm using, what is it I'm using? Almond Breeze. Similar to 2% milk, which is what I used back when. Okay, next is the canned coconut. Okay, next is the, as you can see, this is gonna be, or this one. That's not good.